Hello YouTube, Ready Reptiles here with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be feeding the Lewisi hybrid iguanas some Missouri tortoise diet. And as you can see, I have a spoon, I have a plate, and I like to come in there, hand feed them every time I do this just so I can have interaction with them. It's a form of enrichment for them, and obviously they're going to interact with me, the keeper, and like that I get to just, be around them, and it's a fun activity to do. You guys have to understand the Missouri tortoise diet is full of nutrients and full of packed vitamins and things of that sort. So this is a supplement to their route in the diet of veggies and obviously dark leafy greens and things of that sort. So I either sprinkle it on top of their food, or I go inside and I hand feed them, which is a lot more fun. So let's get started. All right guys, so right now I'm inside the habitat. If you guys saw my last video, I rearranged this entire setup for them, did a rescape completely, added a bunch more logs. So if you guys haven't checked that out, please, awesome if you guys would. So right here is Meg the female, and there is Mando the male. As you can see, they are completely devouring this, but they really enjoy when I come in here and feed them this, because I'm sure they love the taste of it. But what I like to do here is actually feed them from a spoon, because it kind of tames them out, it gets them a lot more calmer. And then in situations like this, if I had to do any veterinary care for them, I'm able to obviously interact with these animals, and they're gonna feel comfortable and safe around me. So in the next clip, I'm kind of just gonna put the camera down, talk a little bit, and feed these guys. All right guys, so right now what I do is pretty much I come inside the habitat, I sit down here, and I like to just be and share my space and share my energy with these animals. As you can see, here's Mando. This is the male that I have here, and Meg is coming up. He's actually a lot more flighty than she is with me, and he doesn't really let me handle them. I don't really like to force handle these animals, just because it's not good. Because what you want to do with your larger lizards, your larger monitors, and this goes for pretty much any animal, but especially animals like this, to have a higher intelligence capacity and can think. I want to give positive interaction with them. So by me doing this is a completely positive situation for them. They are not associating food or me with a negative experience, and like that, these animals can actually just go ahead and enjoy their time. So by me having this positive interaction with them, they're eating, they're sharing the space with me. I'm energetically sharing and relaying to them that I am not going to harm them, I am not going to do them any damage, and they're completely safe to be inside this enclosure with me, and obviously eat from my hand. Because if the animal wasn't tame or wasn't calm with me, he wouldn't be eating out of the spoon. I can actually hand feed these animals, but I like to just avoid that, because they do mistake the fingers sometimes for Missouri, and we don't want to associate the fingers with food either. So by me feeding them through a spoon, they'll see the spoon and they'll know that, hey, the food is coming, and they won't go after any of my stuff. So another thing that is important to understand when we do this is a really good social interaction for the animals, because me as a keeper, coming inside, changing waters, feeding, spot cleaning any poop, and if I have to any interaction with them whatsoever, I'm able to do this, and they're gonna obviously know who I am, and they won't run off and skittishly. And like I said before, I don't really like to handle these guys, because they're still kind of getting comfortable with me. I've had them for a couple months now, but we like to just make sure that these animals are gonna be in a safe space and a safe environment for them. So what I'll do now is I'll pick up the camera, get a nice little closer shot for you guys. We can adjust here. There's Mando the big male, and next clip I'll talk about where these guys are from and what do they like to eat. Alright, so these animals are Lewisi hybrids. As we know, they are species of Cyclura iguana, and for those that don't know, Cyclura iguanas are pretty much all critically endangered or endangered in some sort of way, because they are an island species, and animals that come from islands are automatically considered endangered species, because they can be wiped out very fast through spread of disease, bacteria, obviously poaching from humans, invasive species such as dogs, cats like to kill them, and natural disasters can wipe out islands very easily. So these animals right here are Lewisi hybrids, and what does that mean is that they are a hybrid between a Cuban rock iguana and a Grand Cayman black iguana, or the blue iguana. And if we notice here on Mando's head, he's got this kind of like light powder blue on the top of his snout, and so does Meg here with a nice mouthful of Missouri. So the Grand Cayman blue iguana is actually very, very critically endangered. I believe there's only about 200 adults in the wild, and these animals obviously cannot be owned in captivity. So what did they do to make sure that that species survives? They took the Cuban rock iguana and they hybridized them with the Cayman black iguana, and then you get here what is called the Lewisi iguana. So this Lewisi hybrid is is a cross between these two guys, and obviously we are able to keep these in captivity, and you are able to keep the other animals in captivity as well, but it's just a lot harder to come by a Cayman black iguana. Cuban iguanas are pretty relatively easy to find, but I really like the Lewisi. I like all cyclura in general. If I were to get more, I would love to. I just want to make sure that I have the ample space for them and provide them with the best enclosures as possible. As you can see here, these two guys are by themselves in this really large space, and it's important to, you know, provide them with all this area. So I wanted to share that with you guys, show you guys that these animals are enjoying this plate, enjoying, you know, this kind of diet for them, this kind of like enrichment that I like to do for them. And obviously now you know where they come from and what threatens them and what they consist of. So a little bit about the diet of these iguanas. They are pretty much vegetarian, and sometimes they can eat a little bit of worms and a little bit of insects that come inside the enclosure, or I like to supplement sometimes with hornworms. They really enjoy that. But these animals, I pretty much feed romaine lettuce, green leaf lettuce, collard greens. They love watercress, escarole, red leaf lettuce, and then you know, lots of yellow squash. They like carrots, sweet potato, malanga root, yucca root as well. These animals really enjoy eating that stuff. And then obviously I like to supplement the diet with the Missouri tortoise diet here, because it is an herbivorous diet that they can eat, and it meets obviously the requirements for their diet. And by me feeding this, it kind of you know, it rounds things off. I don't like to overfeed this as well, because it has so many nutrients and stuff that you know, you can make the iguanas overweight. You can get them lots of things that they really can't eat. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, talk a little bit about their diet. This is not a full care video on these animals. I just kind of want to bring you guys in here, talk a little bit of points, and show you guys how they eat in Missouri. So yeah guys, this is pretty much a pretty short video. I just wanted to come in here and show you guys what I do with these animals on a pretty regular basis here, because they do enjoy this interaction with the Missouri, and they kind of just like to sit with me and be around in my presence. So I wanted to bring you guys in here, show you guys one thing you can do with these iguanas is obviously have this interaction with them, and most of your animals in general, obviously. So that's just a very cool point that I wanted to share with you, highlight these iguanas that I don't really see highlighted often on YouTube. And then obviously in a later video we'll make a full in-depth care video on how to care for these guys and how to care for a lot of my other animals that I own here at Ready Reptiles. So I hope you guys enjoyed this shorter video. Like, rate, comment, subscribe, and obviously whatever you guys want to see on my channel, please comment down below. And if you haven't already, check us out on Instagram and TikTok at Ready Reptiles. I post daily content there with pretty much all the shenanigans that goes on here at Ready Reptiles. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you, my fellow herpers.